The 2007-2008 Group Study Exchange Team, representing Rotary District 6990, visited Rotary District 4920, La Pampa and Buenos Aires Province, in the Republic of Argentina. Led by team leader Joe Roth from the Rotary Club of Weston, the team comprised of Assistant Communications Director from the City of Weston, Lori Menaku, Computer Engineer Sean Parker, and Attorney Joseph Bavino, both sponsored by the Rotary Club of Miami. Finally, International Business Expert Sarah Fetter, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Fort Lauderdale. The team traveled throughout the district, first in the capital of the province of La Pampa, Santa Rosa, and then made their way east, stopping in Guatrache, also in La Pampa, and then on to Bolivar, Olavarria, and ending finally in the beautiful resort city of Mar del Plata. The team was able to partake in the customs and cultures, as well as able to share the actual way of life with many Rotary clubs, Rotaract clubs, and interactors throughout the district, along with having a special treat in meeting many youth exchange students from around the world. A special honor was presented when the team participated in the celebration and formation of a brand new Rotary Club in the city of Toay, La Pampa. We witnessed the presentation of the club's charter and shared in a gala evening of Rotary business, dining, and dancing. The event itself went well past 4 a.m. The clubs in the district have their own diversities, but in general have a few things in common. Club sizes range generally between 20 to 25 members, and meeting times usually start between 9 and 9:30 at night. Food is a recurring theme. Meetings are always accompanied by multi-course meals, and of course the very fine Argentine wines. No doubt we all enjoyed these occasions, but it took a little time to get used to the late dining hour. Like all good things though, we got used to it after a very short while. In total, we visited 18 clubs overall. Having the opportunity to do our official presentation 7 times, Rotary clubs in Argentina run their meetings a little different than we're used to here in the States. But these differences add to the personality of the clubs. Part of the exchange experience is sharing our differences. That is what makes GSC the dynamic program which it is. These meetings were a time for us to share and absorb the internationality of Rotary and truly appreciate its global reach. All of our stops along the exchange were special, and as a visiting Rotary contingency, the locals made sure that VIP treatment was the way to go. An aspect of the visit that we were not expecting was the attention that was given to us by the local media in all the cities and towns that we visited. Our first experience in Santa Rosa took us to a local newspaper for a tour and photo op, then onto the #1 most listened radio station for an on-air interview, and finally to a provincial television station where we were interviewed for 15 minutes live on the air for their midday news. We really felt important. Soon after this, we were readily stopped on the streets and the local restaurants by residents wanting to congratulate us, wish us well, and welcome us to Argentina. This type of attention was the order of the day in all the stops along our trip. We were taken aback at the beginning, but soon not only did we become comfortable with the attention, but we actually looked forward to it. An important aspect of the group study exchange experience are the vocational opportunities. This is where we individually engage in our profession while in the district and experience how our work gets done in this part of the world. This was somewhat of a challenge for our hosts because their district was so heavily involved in agriculture that their ability to hook us up professionally sometimes took a little imagination. Despite these barriers, we obtained a basic look into what it takes to do our work there in Argentina. One overriding aspect that we came away with is that the Argentine laborer earns poorly and life sustenance is difficult. Basic needs are not always met, and extravagant pleasures are sometimes, or most of the time, impossible. The national economy is prospering, but the trickle-down effect is slow. The society is a real example of the haves and the have-nots. Not enough can be said about the relationships that developed and the friendships which potentially are lifelong. As part of the group study exchange experience, we were housed in the homes of Rotarians, where we were exposed to the daily life cycle of our host district. Did we mention siesta? Yes. In a large section of the district, this practice is alive and well. Everything shuts down for several hours at midday. Families gather for a good-sized lunch and some rest. It was at these times where our team had the opportunity to really get to know local culture. The time spent during these meals was precious and sometimes exhausting. We really became part of a family, and you can see they enjoyed taking us all in. Here are some of the friends that we met along the way. honor bestowed to us was the opportunity to meet with the mayors and chief aides in all the cities we visited. Our town hall experiences generally included a meeting with the intendente, or mayor, over coffee and pastries, with an interchange of ideas on how our local governments operate. Lori was especially impacted by these visits, and she presented the City of Weston flag, along with some gifts on behalf of the city. The exchange of information usually led to a series of questions on both sides, and we always left with the feeling that in comparison, even with all of our shortcomings, the local Argentine governments are very frustrated with the laws passed down from the federal government. Their hands are usually tied when it comes to the ability to govern locally, for the good of the locals. We took part in several projects which were initiated by the Rotary clubs of Mar del Plata, Fort Lauderdale, and Weston. We were present as much needed equipment was given to a school for visually impaired and blind children. The team was also involved in the decision as to where donated playground equipment would be installed. Lastly, we visited a hospital where diagnostic equipment will be donated. This equipment will make a huge impact on how this hospital helps young mothers and newborn babies. All three of these projects are an example of Rotary in action. All of us should be proud of the work of Rotary District 6990, and in particular the Rotary Clubs of Fort Lauderdale and Weston for their leadership in carrying them out. A fine example on how Rotary shares and makes dreams become reality. Time was a precious commodity and we had little of it. Our Rotarian friends kept us busy with daily outings to show us their lives, their livelihoods, and their pastimes. We visited farm facilities that showcased honey production, cheese and dulce de leche factories, a fish canning facility, and plenty of dairy farms. We toured farms where cereals of all varieties were grown, as well as beef and dairy cattle were raised. In Mar del Plata, their fishing industry was featured as we toured a factory that produced fishing nets, another that produced all types of line, and a shipbuilder that fabricates the local fishing fleet used in these waters. Mar del Plata is also known for their quality wool production in Argentina used in the production of sweaters. The outings we went on were primarily to museums, hospitals, and schools. In the latter two, we again were presented with a dichotomy typical in Argentine society. While their doctors, nurses, and teachers are extremely well trained and willing to provide the services required, the lack of essential basic equipment such as computers, medical supplies, and facilities, and the aging and neglect of the existing facilities made these basic social needs very difficult to deliver. As a Rotary group, we soon realized that some of these basic needs could be addressed, and as Rotarians, we felt the need to help. Joe, our Rotarian leader, had many conversations with local Rotarians and did not need to ask. A handful of possible joint projects has traveled back for the consideration of our district and how we may be able to enhance our already established relationship with the Argentine district. The district we visited was primarily agricultural, except for our last stop in Mar del Plata. The region we spent most of our time in is the heartland of Argentina, where cattle is king, closely followed by cereals and grains with products such as soy, sunflower, corn, and wheat. The fields are endless. The surge in soy prices on the world market has helped the Argentine economy vastly, improving over the last few years, and with that came current strife between the agricultural sector and the federal government. The government, by decree, puts retentions on export grain products, reducing the ability of farmers to make a living and thus creating this current standoff. This conflict was witnessed firsthand by our group in the form of piqueteros, or picketers, by the rural community. This type of crisis also left us with an overwhelming feeling. Argentina is a vastly naturally wealthy nation, but in its history up to this day, it has never been able to administer its natural riches. It continues to remain a land of promises. These images will attest to some of the natural beauty of Argentina and to some incredible landmarks and sights we saw along the way. We were blessed with the ability to see a lot of the best that this part of Argentina has to offer, but our hosts were honest enough to show us that there are many deficiencies as well. We truly believe that for a program such as Group Study Exchange to be effective, the visitors need to know and understand the entire picture, thus giving Rotary a clear view on what work needs to be done. On this trip, your Group Study Exchange team got the whole picture. Several traditions really stand out, and most of them have to do with food. Gastronomy is an integral part of the Argentine social makeup. Where else can a group of people that may not even know each other sit together and sip from the same metal straw in the ritual of mate, a local tea which is usually drank in the late afternoon? And where else can a preparation of beef be considered a work of art? The Argentines pride themselves in their asados. For us, it would be a mere barbecue, but for them, it is a cultural experience that borders on religion. We had the opportunity to experience both of these social rituals as well as many other exquisite culinary delights. The saying, "they live to eat," applies to a T when it comes to our Argentine friends. We had no problem adjusting to this aspect of local culture, especially the desserts, and let's not forget the fantastic Argentine wines, as well as their local favorite beer, Quilmes. We certainly did not forget any of that. Our final images reveal us being us. We had the opportunity to have lots of fun, enjoy the Argentine culture, meet great people, learn a lot about a fantastic country, share our lifestyle, as well as make incredible friends and overall have a life-changing experience. The overwhelming impression of the entire team was the unending hospitality that was shared by our hosts and of the instant friendships that were fostered. The Argentine people are warm, caring, sharing, and eager to give their all. Each and every one of us would like to take this opportunity to thank District 6990 for allowing us to be your ambassadors and for making this trip one that we will never forget.